Have you noticed how quickly your day becomes a battlefield and you're losing before it even begins? You wake up neutral, but one word, one glance, one thought, and suddenly you're somewhere else. Inside, spinning, triggered, heavy. It's like being trapped on a roller coaster you never chose to ride. But there you are, strapped in, no escape, feeling every twist like it's the end of something. And the worst part, it doesn't ask for permission. It just takes. You're not driving, you're being dragged. And you tell yourself, it's just how I feel. I can't help it. This is who I am. But that's not the truth. That's the trap. Because the storm isn't the problem. The problem is how fast you give it the wheel. The Stoics knew, the ones who stood still when everything inside screamed to react. They understood, emotions aren't enemies. But if you don't watch them, they will own you. You can't stop what rises inside you. But you can stop it from taking your hands, your words, your peace. So ask yourself, what runs your life? Impulse or intention? Do you choose or do you just follow? Because from this moment on, you don't get to blame the storm. You only get to decide who commands the ship, you or the waves. You feel it rising, a heat in the chest, a crack in the breath, a sharp shift under the skin, and then you act. The message left on read, the look they gave, the silence in a room that once knew your voice. It all hits, and you become something else. A fire, a wave, a reflex you didn't choose but still called you. But what if there was space between the trigger and the reaction? A gap, small, silent, but powerful enough to change everything. The Stoics lived in that space. They didn't kill emotion, they mastered the pause, and in that pause they found freedom. What if you could do the same? Let's go there. Emotion is not the enemy. It's just the smoke. What burns your life down is what you do with it. Anger isn't the threat. It's the fist that lands. It's the word you can't take back. Sadness isn't weakness. It's the choices you make when you think you're unloved. Jealousy? It doesn't kill you. It's the way you start destroying things just to feel something real. Emotion doesn't break you. Reaction does. The Stoics understood this. They didn't teach you to feel nothing. They taught you to feed nothing. To sit still, even when the wave builds. To breathe when the chest wants to explode. To wait 1 second longer than the impulse tells you to. There's always a gap, a moment, tiny, quiet, between emotion and action. That moment is the key. Lose it and you're a slave. Keep it and nothing owns you, not them, not the past, not the heat rising in your bones. So next time you feel it, the burn, the pull, the twitch in your jaw, don't run from it. Don't fight it. Don't move. Just watch. Breathe once, then again, then ask, is this who I want to be, or is this just the fire talking? Because emotions pass, but damage, that stays. And you were never meant to be ruled by something that disappears in seconds. Be the one who doesn't flinch, the one who holds still while everything else shakes. Not because you're cold, but because you've seen the cost of reaction. And you choose to keep your hands cool. You weren't invited. They didn't choose you. The message never came. The room stayed full, without you in it, and it stings. The silence feels like a sentence, the absence like a statement. You wonder, what's wrong with me? Why not me? Why them? But here's the truth. Rejection doesn't mean lack. It means direction. It's not always personal. Sometimes it's just position. A door closes, not because you're unworthy, but because the room behind it isn't where you're meant to stand. The Stoics called this indifference. Not coldness, not apathy, but power. To stay unshaken when the world forgets your name. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need every hand. You don't need their spotlight to know you still shine. What you do need is stillness. To stop chasing rooms that were never built for you. To stop begging for seats at tables that never valued your voice. It hurts, yes, but hurt is not proof you are less. It's proof that you feel, that you're alive, that you still care. Let the pain pass, but don't let it write your story. You weren't included? Good. Now you're free. No need to perform. No need to impress. No need to fit where you were never meant to stay. Take the silence, take the rejection, take the absence, and sit with it, not as a wound, but as a mirror. They didn't choose you, but now you get to choose yourself, and that is the only choice that was ever yours to make. You gave them space, time, loyalty, and still they crossed the line, spoke over you, dismissed you, forgot how much you held back just to keep the peace. Disrespect rarely comes loud. It's subtle, slow, like water over stone, until one day you look in the mirror and see someone who's shrunk, someone who says it's fine when it's not, who stays when every signal says go. But here's what the Stoics knew. Respect is not something you wait for, it's something you set. And when the world refuses to offer it, you do not lower the price, you raise the standard. Your worth does not change because someone failed to see it. It remains unshaken, unmoved, like stone beneath the noise. So when they talk down to you, don't yell, don't chase, don't explain. Just hold. Hold your voice, hold your ground, hold your line. Because the one who doesn't defend their boundaries invites invasion. Let them think you're quiet. Let them think you're cold. Let them misunderstand. But never let them define your value. That is yours, and yours alone. Set the line. Keep it sharp, unapologetic, unbending. And when they realize they can't walk through you like they used to, watch how they change their tone or disappear completely. Either way, you win. Because respect doesn't begin when others finally give it. It begins the moment you stop accepting less. You tried. You stepped forward, took the leap, spoke the truth, chose the path no one else dared to walk, and then nothing. No applause, no I'm proud of you. No one waiting at the finish line with open arms, just silence. And that silence? It cuts deeper than any insult. Because you thought doing the right thing meant someone would see, would cheer, would care. But the Stoics knew better. They didn't move for the crowd. They moved for the code. Because the truth is, if your strength depends on witnesses, it's not strength, it's performance. The world might never clap. They might never understand how hard it was just to get out of bed that day, to keep going when everything screamed stop. But you know what it took. You know what you carried, what you gave up, what you held in. And that is enough. Let the silence be your echo. Let the empty seats teach you that not every win needs an audience. Sometimes the victory is simply this. You showed up when no one thought you would. You stayed steady when the hand stopped clapping. You chose to be your own witness when the world looked away. That's power. That's presence. That's Stoic. So next time you rise, don't look around, just breathe in, feel the weight of your own spine, and say quietly, I got me. And that is everything. You loved fully, quietly, in the way only someone who's been hurt before can still choose to love again. But they didn't return it. Not with words, not with action, maybe not even with presence. And it stings, like rejection, like something in you wasn't enough. But let's be clear, unreturned love is not unworthy love. You didn't love wrong. They just didn't hold it. And that's not on you. The Stoics never taught to expect affection. They taught to offer it, without being owned by it. To give, not because it'll come back, but because it was real when it left your hands. You don't need their heart to know yours is still beating. You don't need to be chosen to know you can still choose peace. Love that isn't returned is still proof you can feel, still stand, still open when the world teaches people to close. They didn't choose you? That doesn't reduce your worth, it reveals theirs. You gave something whole. They weren't ready. That's not your failure. That's their timing. So breathe. Step back. Don't chase. Don't collapse. Don't become smaller just to fit inside a space that didn't know how to hold you. Instead, sit with yourself. Remind your soul what it feels like to love and still stay standing. No begging, no blaming, no what if, just this. You were honest. You were open, and you're still here. That's more than most. So don't say, they didn't love me. Say this instead, I loved deeply, and I survived it. And that is power. You spoke, softly at first, then louder, then almost screaming, just to be seen. just to be heard. But all you got back was silence, eyes elsewhere, hands busy, minds already gone before your words finished landing. And a part of you cracked, not because they ignored you, but because you let their silence rewrite your worth. But here's the truth. The volume of your voice doesn't measure its value. Just because they didn't hear doesn't mean you didn't speak truth. Just because they looked away doesn't mean you disappeared. The Stoics didn't beg for attention. They didn't perform for the room. They spoke with weight, not noise. And when no one listened, they didn't speak louder. They stood stiller. Because presence isn't how many people watch. It's how deep you sit in yourself when no one's watching at all. Don't chase the spotlight. Don't adjust your brightness to match their blindness. If they can't see you, step out of their line of vision. Not to vanish, but to protect your voice from places that never deserved it. You don't need the echo, you don't need the applause, you don't need the nod of approval to know your words had weight. So next time you're met with silence, don't shrink, don't repeat yourself, don't perform, just pause. And remember, the right ones won't need volume. The right ones feel you even when you whisper. And until then, be your own witness. Speak, breathe, stand, quiet, but unmoved. You waited for the message, for the call, for the moment someone would finally say, "We see you. It's your turn." But it never came. You sat in the quiet, checked your phone, replayed every reason why they might have passed you by, and it hurt because you showed up. You were ready. And still, they looked the other way. But here's the shift. Not being chosen doesn't mean you weren't enough. It means the room wasn't yours. The space wasn't built for you. The decision wasn't about your value, just their vision. You could wait forever, hope harder, try louder, or you could move. The Stoics never said wait. They said act, step, begin, even if no one's watching. Because a life spent waiting is a life halted, muted, unclaimed. You don't need a green light to go. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need their choice to validate your path. Some doors stay closed because you were never meant to knock. Some roles never fit because you weren't born to audition. So stop standing in the hallway. Stop shrinking to be seen. Stop waiting to be called. Write your own part. Walk your own rhythm. Move. Even if no one calls your name. Because those meant for you, they won't need convincing. They will find you already moving, already becoming, already gone from the place that never saw you. They left. Maybe slowly, maybe all at once. Maybe they never said the words, but you felt it, in the way they stopped showing up, in the way their silence stretched longer than the memory of their voice. And you wanted to stop them. Hold on, say something. Anything to make them turn back. But here's the truth. If someone wants to go, let them. Not because it doesn't hurt, but because love was never meant to be held by force. The Stoics taught one thing clear. If it's outside your control, it is not yours to carry. Their choice? Not yours. Their silence? Not yours. Their absence? Not yours. You can mourn, you can miss, but you do not have to chase. Because chasing what walks away is how you lose yourself one step at a time. Let them go. Not with bitterness, but with stillness. Let them leave and close the door behind them quietly. That's not weakness. That's power. To stay in your place, to not beg, to not collapse, to not become smaller, just to make them stay. They left? Let it be their story. Yours continues. You don't need to fix what wasn't yours to break. You don't need to wait at the edge hoping they return with softer hands. They won't. And even if they do, you're not standing there anymore. You've moved. Inward, deeper, quieter. You've learned that peace isn't the absence of people. It's the absence of need. Let them walk, let them drift, let them forget. You remember something deeper, that not everyone is meant to stay. And that's okay, because you stayed. And that was always enough. You still feel, you still break, you still shake when things fall apart, but now you don't collapse with them. That's not numbness, that's strength. Because calm doesn't mean empty, it means grounded. It means choosing stillness while the storm screams. It means not letting the fire burn your hands just because it's burning inside you. This is what the Stoics knew. That emotion will rise, but it doesn't get to rule. You will feel, but you will not follow. You will hurt, but you will not be hurtled. You will know exactly where your line ends, and what crosses it won't own you. So from here on, feel, but don't bow. Love, but don't beg. React, but only after you've paused and chosen. Because peace is not passive, it is discipline, built, kept, and earned moment by moment. And if you've made it this far, maybe now you understand. To stop being a slave to your emotions is not to feel less, it's to become more stable, more still, more you. And that is enough.